If you ever have the opportunity to go to Atlanta, Georgia, to go at the intersection of Boulevard and Auburn Avenue, you'll see a small black Catholic school there called Our Lady of Lourdes. Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic School, on the backside of the recess yard, is the home of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Across the street from Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic School is the final resting place of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Ebenezer Baptist Church is right there. And as a young man born in 1961 in Atlanta, Georgia, growing up in the old 4th Ward, I attended Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic School. And you heard those words. They were just so eloquently given to you. I am that embodiment of Dr. King's dream and the American dream. Because it says one simple thing, that I am standing here before you today, not because of the color of my skin, but because of the content of my character and the belief that America is the greatest nation in the world. Every single day, walking past his final resting place to go home, or to walk down Auburn Avenue, to go down to the Butler Street YMCA, where I learned to box, where I learned to swim, where I learned to play basketball. Those words were continually ingrained into me. And my parents taught me one simple thing, that in living in the greatest nation that the world has ever known, I had the greatest opportunities to become anything that I wanted to be. And see, in 1961, when I was born, and I did not know this, but in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at the beach of Fort Lauderdale, there was a thing called a wade-in, because people of my skin color were not allowed to go into the beach at Fort Lauderdale. Then 50 years later, in 2011, I was sworn in as the congressional representative of Fort Lauderdale Beach, and also the congressional representative of Palm Beach Island. That only happens in America because of the American dream. Because the American dream says that no matter where you are born, no matter where you come from, it is here that you can find whatever level of success and achievement that you want. It is here that in America you are given the incredible ladder of success and achievement. It is here that you are able to climb up that ladder. And we understand that sometimes you may slip off of that ladder. But that's why we believe in a safety net. Because the safety net is there to make sure that you bounce back up and continue to climb. Because here in America, the part of our dream that is so unique is that we believe in raising victors, not victims. And that is the difference between who we are. That is the difference between you all who are sitting here and other people that believe that America is not about a safety net. It's about a hammock. And there's a big difference between the two. We live in America. We live in America where Dr. King talked about that incredible dream that Thomas Jefferson laid down, the incredible words that he wrote that we celebrated this past weekend, 239 years of independence, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator and not man. Because that's the difference in America. Because we don't believe that man grants your rights. Because if we believe that man grants your rights, man can also take those rights away. That's the difference in the American dream. And when we talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it means that you can get out there, and as the Army once had as a motto, you can be all that you can be. Because we believe in an opportunity society that says with a good quality education, with a strong work ethic, you can achieve anything that you want. But if we fail to stand up, if we fail to understand and defend the American dream, if we fail to realize that there is a pursuit of happiness, then all of a sudden people start to tell us that government can guarantee your happiness. And we stop believing in an opportunity society. We start believing in a dependency society. And it was so interesting that when we sit these 50 years from the Great Society programs of Lyndon Baines Johnson, Did they promote the Opportunity Society? Did they promote the American dream? Or have they promoted more dependency? When I think about growing up in my inner city neighborhood in Atlanta, Georgia, when I think about the American dream, I think about having a mother and father that sat down and talked to me how great it was to live in this country. A father who was born in 1920 in Ozark, Alabama, jumped the Chattahoochee River, grew up in South Georgia. A mother who was born in 1931 in Fort Valley, Georgia. Those were not easy times for them. But they never taught me to use my skin color as a crutch, because the American dream was there for me to be able to stand before you here today. But the thing is that back then, children in the inner city, children in the black community, 77% had two parents in the household. With Lyndon Johnson and the Great Society programs, when he came up with this idea that government can grant liberty and pursuit of happiness, government can guarantee you something. When government decided that they will give a check to a young woman who has a child out of wedlock, and as long as she kept a man out of the house, she will continue to get a child. Instead of 77% of two-parent households in the black community, today we have 25%. And that's the truth. And so when you look at Chicago, when you look at Baltimore, when you go into my old neighborhood of Atlanta, do you see the American dream anymore, or do you see something that is just a faint scamp of that dream? In 2008, when someone stood up and said that we're 5 days away from fundamentally transforming America, I say, ladies and gentlemen, starting here, starting right now, we need to be fundamentally restoring the United States of America and fundamentally restoring the American dream for every single child, every single person that comes to our shores. But how do you do that? You don't do that by having a government that believes in crony capitalism. You don't do that by having a government that believes that they can invest money. The next time you hear someone come up and talk to you about government investments, just ask them one simple question. What's the rate of return on a government investment? See, if we're going to have the American dream comes from you. The American dream comes from the individual. The American dream comes from your entrepreneurial spirit. The American dream comes from your own industrialism. But funny, we had someone that said, if you have a business, you didn't build that. That is the most antithetical statement that could ever be said for the American dream. Because when you think about the rugged individualism of the American, you think about how our forefathers and foremothers took off to expand this great nation westward. And when they came up upon the Mississippi River, they didn't stop to say, okay, who's going to build me a bridge? When they got out here into the far west, they didn't say, hey, where's my food stamps? What they said is, I'm an American. And part of my dream is to go out there and expand westward, to take my family and grow this great nation. But if we become subservient, if we don't understand and respect individualism, if all of a sudden it becomes about a collective, and a collective becomes subservient to government, we don't have the American dream anymore. When the government believes no longer in individual empowerment, but instead in collective enslavement, we will not have the American dream anymore. The American dream was represented this past weekend when we saw those incredible young women of the American Women's Cup, the American soccer team, go out and win the World Cup. That's the American dream. The American dream that says we will go onto this soccer pitch and we don't care how many teams are out there. We don't care if you put us in the toughest bracket. We're going to come out on top. That's the American dream. And they have achieved something that no other team had achieved. 3 World Cup victories. Carly Lloyd has achieved something that no one else has achieved. A hat trick during the World Cup. But if you listen to some people who don't believe in the American dream, all of a sudden they will tell us that maybe they should be sharing that World Cup. Because prosperity should be shared. Maybe it should be about fairness and fair share. What is amazing to me, how many Americans came together and were galvanized to cheer for their country on that soccer pitch. But yet the same Americans do not cheer for their own country to win the World Cup. They do not cheer for their own country to be exceptional. They do not cheer for their own country to be at the 1% level. I find it absolutely incredible that the Golden State Warriors won the last NBA championship. Yeah, okay. I find it funny that the San Francisco Giants have won 3 of 6 of the last 6 World Series. But yet San Francisco is a sanctuary city for people who disregard our rule of law. San Francisco is one of the most liberal cities around. They believe in this shared prosperity, this economic patriotism, this fair share, this fairness. Why is it that when it comes to sports teams, we believe in the American dream, we believe in exceptionalism, we believe in being number one? When it comes to our own country, when it comes to the individual being a champion, we don't believe that that should be the dream. The pursuit of happiness is something that was given to each and every one of us. The pursuit of happiness allows this young man born in the inner city of Atlanta, Georgia, the son of a corporal in World War II, the brother of a lance corporal in the Marine Corps of Vietnam. And they sat down and they said to me one simple thing: we want to have the first officer in our family. And in 1976, when I showed up at Henry Grady High School, and I started in high school junior ROTC, and it got me on the road to go to the University of Tennessee in ROTC. And then in 1982, 31 July, I, Allen West, do swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That's the American dream. That a man that was a corporal born in 1920 can have a son that grows up to be a battalion commander in combat. That's the American dream. And then I get the opportunity to see my little nephew that I just watched graduate from the Command and General Staff College at Fort Leavenworth, something that I did in 1997. Now, he is the 4th generation in our family, because this is what we must come to understand. Why does America exist for these 239 years? Because we have always had men and women that were willing to answer the call to arms to defend this American dream, to defend our life, our liberty, our pursuit of happiness, to defend this great thing that we have been blessed with in this country. And if the day ever comes, which I don't believe it ever will, that we have men and women that are not willing to stand up and defend our rights and freedoms, then that dream that we were given 239 years ago will not happen. And there are some people that believe that we should not be able to go out and stand and fight for this dream. There are some people that believe that maybe we should sit down and talk with our enemies. Let me tell you something. What we believe in, what we have achieved, what we have done here in this great nation is worth a fight. And I say right now to the radical Islamists, I say right now to Iran, I say to Russia, I say to China, I say to North Korea, that this great nation, this great blessing that God has given to the world, the last great hope for mankind, is worth defending and fighting for. You all look pretty out there. But you didn't come here to go to a casino. You didn't come, well, maybe some of y'all. And if I see you, I'm going to tell them. You didn't come here to just hear speakers. You came here because something burns inside of you that says the American dream is at risk. You came here because you want to be inspired. You came here because you want to take your place, just as the Minutemen did at Concord Bridge and Lexington Green. You came here because it is a call to arms. This is Freedom Fest. That is what the American dream is about. And if we no longer have freedom, then that beacon of liberty that so many people have come to these shores to love and enjoy, and our children and grandchildren have been passed on from generation to generation. Some of you may feel down, a little despondent, maybe a little despair, maybe a little depressed. This is what I'm going to tell you. Ruck up. Toughen up. Cowboy up. Because this is Freedom Fest, and we're not here for summer soldiers or sunshine patriots. We are here because we are looking for men and women who will make a stand for the American dream so that years from now, you will deserve the love and admiration of all men and women. God bless you all and enjoy.